Get 'em swamp wise. I can face a black bear with my hunting knife. Catch a cottonmouth moccasin before it can strike. Cross me and you better run for your life. I'm swamp wise. Swamp wise.
See, there are more people on this earth than there ever have been in the history of the human race. And that means that every day, each one of us needs to be more careful how we treat what's left around us in the natural world before it becomes irreversible. The list of endangered species is growing and growing much too rapidly. Our very existence on this earth depends upon the existence of all the life around us. It's all important. Every leaf on every tree is working right now. How can we treat the natural world around us with respect if we don't really understand it? So my question is, to get things started here, excuse me, is every snake in Georgia poisonous? Thank God. We're all swamp wise enough to know at least that much about the snakes. Now, there's only 4 types of venomous snakes in the whole United States of America. If everyone knew how to recognize those 4, we'd never again have to wonder or ask, how can you tell if it's poisonous? We'd know. Wouldn't have to know anything else about snakes, unless we wanted to. Well, I guess everybody here has heard of a copperhead. Before I open any of these boxes, you are perfectly safe anywhere in this gathering, except up here with me. I've been doing this 32 years. Haven't had a wreck yet. No problems at all. Copperheads don't get very big. 4 feet long is the biggest one you'll ever see. That's a pretty good sized copperhead right there. I'll put the copperhead right there on the table. Okay. I guess everybody's heard of a water moccasin. And I hope everyone knows that a cottonmouth and a water moccasin are both the same thing. Whoops. Sorry, pussycat. Don't ever grab a snake by the tail unless someone shows you how to do it. It could turn right around and bite you. You would not want that to happen. I'll put the cottonmouth up on the table too, next to the copperhead. And I know we've all heard of a rattlesnake. Well, I'll tell you something about rattlesnakes. They all look like rattlesnakes. The rattle on its tail is made up of the same stuff our fingernails are made of, loosely connected segments. If the snake vibrates its tail, they'll click together to create a sound. This particular rattlesnake, this is the type that's found in this area. It's a canebrake rattlesnake. Some people call it a timber rattlesnake. Notice it's not rattling. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. 3 deadly snakes up on the table. There's only one other dangerous snake in the whole United States of America. It's red, black, and yellow. Everyone's heard of a coral snake. The 4 deadly snakes in the whole United States of America, the red, black, and yellow coral snake, a rattlesnake, a copperhead, and a cottonmouth. Just think, if everyone knew how to recognize those 4, never again would we have to ask, how can you tell if it's poisonous? But more important than that, if we knew how to recognize the ones that are dangerous, then we would know without even thinking that it's something like this. What do you mean, is he real? I think he's real. If something like this were to crawl up into our yard, although we might not like the idea of having a snake in the yard, at least we would know it's not dangerous. It doesn't pose any such thing as a life-threatening matter to us, our child, our dog, our cat. But more important than any of this, if we human beings knew why Wiggles came in our yard, why the snake is there, what brought it there, if we knew why the snake was in the yard, maybe, instead of being so hateful, maybe we'd be a little bit grateful. This is what I have learned from our wild animals all across this earth. They only go where they are needed. Wild animals have got responsibilities. And if there's a job that needs being done anywhere on earth, to correct, or maybe just to maintain the balance, sooner or later, the right wild animal is going to get there to do that job. And if you don't want snakes crawling up into your yard, maybe we could try a little bit harder to get rid of what they're coming to get. Of course, they're a whole lot better at that than we are, just because of the way they're built. Did you know that every living thing on God's earth has been designed perfectly for the job it's been created to do? If you get a chance, go to your media center and check out a book on insects. And if you do nothing else with that book, just look at some of the pictures. Some insects look silly, but every insect has its own special equipment so it can do its job. And who do they work for? Billions and billions of them are working for this earth right now, keeping it alive, keeping it healthy, giving you and me an earth that we can live on. Every living thing on God's earth has been designed perfectly for the job it's been created to do. Look at this. Every inch of its body, from the tip of the tail to its head, it's a living machine that is designed so that it can go anywhere a rat or a mouse can go. Anywhere. Places rat poison never dreamed of going. And unlike rat poison that leaves a rat to die and further contaminate and stink up the house, when the snake gets it, it puts it in its belly. No muss, no fuss. This one here weighs 4 pounds, 6 ounces. Did you know the snakes that crawl into our yard that are not venomous can eat their weight in rats every month? 4 pounds, 6 ounces of rats every 30 days. That is a lot of rat meat. Where does it get them all? We'd be surprised. No, we'd be shocked. We see a mouse in the house. We say, we got a mouse. We better set a trap and catch it. If we see one mouse in our house, we've probably got 30. The only mouse we're going to see is a dumb one. Because of the way the snake is built, it goes anywhere they go. 24 hours a day, silently, free of charge. That's what Wiggles came into our yard to do. So where does all the hate and the fear come from? Maybe if we knew how to recognize the few that are dangerous, maybe that would be a huge step in the right direction. Well, this is our local gray rat snake, called such because of the color. And everybody knows it eats rats, not people. All right, the cottonmouth apparently is going back in the rat snake box, and we can't let that happen. These snakes up here in the...